all cylinders with Albert and Holiday. What's it feel like to be in this lineup potentially with what it could be?
I mean, if there's a better team in the National League, I don't know who they are. I mean, I really, on paper, you talk about the Phillies, and obviously have a great pitching staff, but we can pitch with anybody, and we can hit with anybody, and we have a great team. And it's everybody ought to be excited, because if people stay healthy and if guys perform like they have in the past and like they're capable of, I mean, we have as good a team as there is, not just in the National League, but in baseball. I feel like this is a legitimate World Series contender, and I'm not just saying that. I really, in my heart, believe that, and I'm not, I'm not trying to do like Rex Ryan and put something out there and make everybody mad. I feel like we have a great team, and obviously every team goes into spring. Well, if we stay healthy and if we play up, every team has that. But on paper, I think you can compare us favorably to anybody.
You were in some good lineups in Houston. You think this is potentially the best lineup you ever been in?
Could be. It would be hard. I mean, I was hitting the 8th for the Yankees, so I felt like that was a pretty good lineup. But in terms of a National League lineup, yeah. I mean, I think, obviously, probably the best lineup I hit in before this one, we had Kent and myself and Carlos Beltran and Bagwell and Biggio when they were still, relatively close to their prime. So that's a tough one to beat. But heck, I mean, when you can run Albert and Matt and Colby and I think David, if he comes back from his injuries, and I know you've got Skip and Ryan at the top potentially, and those two guys they're pests. I mean, I know from playing against them, like, good grief. I mean, just making out something. I mean, they're fouling balls off, and next thing you know, they're on first and they still second. And I mean, so we got some guys that can make something happen. And Yachty, I feel like, is underrated in terms of it seems like he gets nothing but clutch hits. I mean, you might strike him out twice, but if he comes up there with a chance to win the game, he's going to do it. So we've got some guys, and I am excited about this lineup.
These guys obviously expect you to hit, but beyond that, you were kind of a centerpiece of an attempt to get a little different feel in the clubhouse. I mean, what do you think is on you in that regard as a new guy, and what do you see when you look at this group of guys who I presume a lot of them know pretty well?
Yeah, I mean, as a veteran, you've got to take a leadership role. I like to have fun. I mean, I like to joke around. You guys will find that I like to deadpan. I'll say stuff that sounds ridiculous with a straight face, and sometimes it gets printed, and then you're like, oh man, that didn't come off right. But I like to have fun. I mean, and I think that you can be serious and you can be focused and you can be effective on the field, but have a good time in the clubhouse. And so I hope that I can bring some positive energy in that regard.
Did you ever feel you'd have the opportunity to play with Albert?
Not really. I mean, like I said, it's been a whirlwind. Never did I think I would put the pinstripes on, and play for the Yankees. I never thought I'd leave Houston. I mean, I really thought I'd finish my career there, and was really content to do that. But obviously, that's not how it worked out. So I think it was a perfect storm of circumstances that led to the trade, to New York. We were terrible. I was terrible, and the club felt like, hey, we got to start. We got to blow this thing up and go young, and I mean you just kind of get caught up in that. And then I thought, well, when I got traded, I thought, well, I'll have a chance to sign back here as a free agent. And then basically they said no thanks, and so I can understand that. I don't harbor any ill will towards Houston. I think I still have a tremendous amount of respect for Drayton, for Ed Wade, and for the guys that run that organization. And obviously for Brad Mills, he's a great manager and would have liked to have gone back there. But clearly, I think this is better. I mean, this is a better team. It's a better environment in a lot of ways, and I'm excited about it.
Lance, how good will it be to play behind Carpenter and Wainwright now instead of have to face them 18, 19 times a year?
Yeah, that's nice to not have to worry about that. Although our division is really kind of beefed up from a pitching standpoint here recently. I mean, I think you had the addition of Greinke and Matt Garza that makes it tough. But certainly, I'm not going to be disappointed to not have to climb in the batter's box against those guys. I can tell you.
How much did your issues with the knee really affect the U.S. season?
I hope that was the whole reason. I mean, I'm just going to blame it on that anyway. So, but I don't know. I mean, I like obviously it got me off on the wrong foot, no pun intended. But it just I didn't. When I missed spring training, when I came back, I just didn't have enough strength, I don't think, and that's my, that's on my left side particularly. That's your back leg. I mean, you always hear people say sit back. You got to stay back. I mean, I just wasn't able to do that, and I mean, I think just one thing led to another, and you lose confidence, and it just kind of gets away from you a little bit, and that's sort of what happened. So I'm hopeful that that was the case, but if it wasn't, and I'm really just like not any good anymore, then I can live with that because I've worked hard this off season, and I don't think that's the case, but we'll see.
What do you want Cardinals fans to know about you that you don't think they know just from seeing you as a visitor here and whatnot?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I value integrity, honesty, and being a good human being above anything that happens on the baseball field. And not just Cardinal fans, but I mean, I want that said of me when my career's over, regardless of what I'm able to accomplish or not accomplish on the field. I would like for people to say that he did it the right way and was a man of integrity.
And are you excited about your first Cards-Cubs rivalry?
Well, I hate the Cubs too, so I don't know that.
Awesome.
I'm not sure I could work up any more animosity for the Cubs than I already have. Although I got a chance to have dinner with Jim Hendry, who I really liked. He's a great guy, in this free agency process. So, but I still don't like the Cubs.
Good. We like you even more now.
Hey, Lance, in regards to the knee, is the position that they're going to ask you to play, whether it's left or right field, there's going to be a lot of running, and obviously like that. Do you think that you're at any risk physically because of the demands of the position and what you went through last year?
I think, to be honest with you, and people might be like, oh, wow. But first base is harder on your knees than the outfield is. And the reason is because at first base, there's a tremendous amount of direction change. Mm-hmm. There's stopping and starting. You're holding guys on. You're bouncing off. You're having to get back. You play a right-handed hitter way over in the four hole, and then all of a sudden they hit a ground ball at third baseman. You got to run and stop. Mm-hmm. There's just a lot of that goes on as a first baseman. And the things that bother my knees are structurally perfect. I mean, there's no torn ligaments. There's no, nothing like that. What I have is a little wear and tear under the kneecap, which when you load, when your knee's in close to a 90-degree position and it's loaded, like you do have to get into pretty much every time the ball is thrown in the infield. And in the outfield, you don't have to do that as much. That's what can irritate it. And so, like, the actual just, hey, run from A to B and either catch the ball or don't get there, I mean, that's easy. I mean, it's if your legs are in good shape. That's just a matter that you're really more at risk of pulling a hamstring or straining a quad than you are hurting your knee in the outfield because it's straight line running. First base, there's agility, there's a lot of movements, a lot of stopping and starting, and that's what bothers me.
A little more jarring.
Yeah, and actually, I mean, I really feel like it's going to be a break on my joints to go back to the outfield. I mean, heck, if you look around at some of the people that are playing the outfield, I'm like, if I can't play it better than that, then I mean, I don't even deserve to be in the big leagues. So I'm not concerned at all about playing the outfield.